Hi everyone, Mr. Pekri again. I hope the last video helped you a lot with your place value. Today we're going to carry on with the place value, but this time we're going to be doing some partitioning in different ways. Okay, so this is our first example. Our target number is going to be 243, and basically what we're going to be trying to do is to partition it in as many different ways as we can. So our first example is the easiest example that we can do. So to partition 243, we're going to partition it into 200, 40, and 3. And with my objects, I'm going to show it. So I've got 200, 40, and 3. So just like the previous video, I'm showing my 100, 10s and 1s with my objects. So I've got 2 hundreds, 4 10s and 3 1s. And now I'm going to show you a few different ways that we can partition this number. This is the next example. It's really similar to the last one because we've still got the same amount of hundreds. I've still got 200, so I'm going to put those there. But this time, instead of having 40, I've got 30. So I've got my 3 10s to make 30. But now, because I've partitioned it differently, I've got 230. That leaves me with 13. So I'm going to get my objects again. I've got 1 10, and I've still got my 3 1s. So that's the second way that I've partitioned this. So pause the video for a second and think about how many different ways you would be able to partition this number. Here is another example. This time I've decided to get more than 100. So I've got 100 here. I've got another 100 here, which gives me 200. And now I know that I've only got 43 left. So I'm going to need 4 10s and 3 1s. So I've got my 4 10s here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. And I've got 3 1s. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 243. So I've got the same number again, and that's the third way I've done that. Now this is my last example for this number, and I'm given myself a little bit of a challenge. So I've stuck with the 100 here. So I've got 100. So I've got 143 left. And now I've given myself a challenge with the 90. So I'm going to put 9 10s over here. I've counted these already, so I don't need to count them, but I'll make sure right at the end. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That's my second number. So I've got 190. And now I need to work out what I've already done in my head, how much is left. So I've got 243 take away 190, which I've worked out to be 53. So I'm going to put my 50 first and my 3. And that makes, again, 243. Okay, so that was our first one. Now we're going to move on to a second number. My number now is 479. So just like the other one, we're going to start off in the most simple way, and we're going to partition it into 400, 70, and 9. So I've got my 400s, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've got 7 10s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 70. And I've got my 9 1s. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it's 479. Now I'm going to do another example. Okay, the second way I'm going to partition this number is a little bit more difficult. So I've decided to put hundreds and tens in 2 of my columns. So in my first column, I've got 350. So there's 100, 200, and 300. And I've also got 50. So I've got 310, 320, 330, 340, 350. In my second number, I've got 120. So I've got my 100 and my 2 tens to make 120. So far I can work out that I've got 350 add 120. So that would make 470. So all I'm missing is my 9. So just like I did last time, I'm going to use the exact same amount of 1. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Here is another example. So I've got 250. That's my 200. Let me get my 50 tens, my 5 tens. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So that's 250 I've got over here. My next partitioned part is going to be 200. So now I know that I've got 450, which leaves me with 29 of this number. So I've got my 2 tens and I've got 9. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so I've got 250, 229. One thing that I didn't say before is that the main reason that we're partitioning these numbers in different ways is to just help your fluency when you're doing your place value. So in your brain, everything is going to be working a lot quicker. Okay, I'm going to do one more example of this number, and then I'm going to do another number after this. So 479. This time I'm going to do 270 to start off with. So I've got 200 and I've got my 7 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. So that's 270. Now I want to take away 109 so I don't have to deal with my ones later. So I've got my 100 here and I've got my 9 ones. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I've got 270, 109. Now if I add them up, I've got 300s, 70, and 9. So 379. So that means I've definitely only got 100 left. And that's it for that number. We're going to move on to another one now. Okay, my last example for my partitioning is 637. Just like the other numbers, I'm going to do my hundreds, tens, and my ones separately first. So I've got 600s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600. I've got 30, so that's 3 tens, 10, 20, 30. And I've got 7 ones. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I've got 600s, 30, that's 3 tens, and 7 ones, 637. Another way to do this number is 430. So I've got 400s, 100, 200, 300, 400. Now I need my 30. So I've got 10, 20, 30. So I've got 430 here. And then I've decided to go with 200. So I've got 1, 200s. And then I've still got 7. That hasn't changed because it's still the same number. So I'm always using the same amount of ones for each time that I'm partitioning. the same amount of hundreds is still being used. Every time I'm partitioning, I've still got 6 hundreds, 3 tens, and 7 ones. So no matter what number you're doing, the hundreds, tens, and ones will always stay the same. Okay, I'm still doing the same number, 637. This time I'm going to do some hundreds and ones together. So I've got 3 hundreds, 100, 200, 300. And now I want my 7 ones. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's 307 here. And now I'm going to go with 230. So I've got 2 hundreds and 3 tens. 10, 20, 30. And all I've got left, because I've worked it out, 300 add 200 is 500, and 30 add 7 is 37. So 537 is these two, which means I've only got 100 left. And that's all I need on that one. I'm going to do one more example for this number. If you still don't understand, watch over it again. Make sure you're using these resources. And we're going to play a quick game after this that can help you remember how to do this. Now, my last example, I'm going to give myself a challenge, because in the last one, I said that you will always need the same amount of hundreds, tens, and ones. Now, that's true, but this time, I've decided to put a different amount of tens in each one, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So in my first number, I've gone with 460. So I'm going to give my 400s like normal. So that's 2, 3, 400. And I need 60 tens. So I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 for my tens. Now, if I take that away from this number, that leaves me with 177, which I haven't dealt with yet. So that means I'm going to need more tens. So even though I've got 30 here, I've still got more left over because I've only used a portion of them. And I'm going to cut in to one of my hundreds. So I've got 137 as my next number. So I've got my 100, my 30, and my 7 ones. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right now I've got 460 add 137, which gives me 597. Now the reason I've got only 500s but 9 tens is because I haven't chosen numbers that are like the hundreds, tens, and ones here. So only do this if you want to give yourself a challenge. Now I know that I've got 597, which only leaves me with 40. So all I need to put in my last column is 10, 20, 30, and 40. And if I count up everything, I should have 637. So I've got 400, 500, and now if I add up my tens with it first, I've got 510, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, that's 590. After 590 is 610, 620, 630, and you might notice all I've got left now is my 7, so I'm going to count those now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So even if I did it in a different way, I will always get 637 as my number. That was the last example for this, and now we're going to show you how to make a really quick game to practice your place value skills. Okay, now that we've done our place value partitioning, we're going to play a game that will help you with your hundreds, tens, and ones. So you're going to need 2 people to play. If you want, you can play with more than 2. The first thing you need to do is both get 1 piece of paper or coloured card each. After you've done that, you're both going to write down the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 on your card. So we're going to do that now. And then after we've done that, we're going to do something else. Okay. After you've written down the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, you're just going to cut them out into 6 separate pieces. After you've done that, you're both going to have 6 pieces of paper or card numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, after we've done that, both of you are going to turn them upside down and you're going to shuffle them so you don't know which card is which. If you think you can tell, you can close your eyes before you pick a number. Okay? Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose any 3-digit number and I'm going to write it on my scoreboard. So I'm going to have player 1 and player 2 and I'm going to write a target number down here. Now we've only got the numbers 1 to 6, so I'm not going to include the numbers 7, 8 and 9. But you can if you want to, because the aim of the game is just to get as close to that number as you can. I'm going to go with the number 356. So the next thing we're going to do is we're both going to choose 3 numbers. I'm going to close my eyes so I don't see which ones I'm choosing. There's 1, 2 and 3. Right, I'm going to push the other cards away just like the other player. And now we're going to flip our cards. Oh, let's get the cat off of the table. That's okay. Right, so we've both got 3 numbers. And now your challenge is to make a number as close to that number as you can. After we've done it, we're going to show each other and then we're going to see who is closest. So my number is 456. That's easy to work out because that ends in 56 too. So I am 100 away. My opponent has got 245. Now I know that if it was 345, it would be 100 away, but it's more than that. So that's 111 away. So my opponent was 111 away. I was 100 away. So that means that my one was closer. So I'm going to get the first point. We're going to play up to 3 and we're going to see who wins. So we can rub out this number now because we've done that one. Now I'm going to choose another number. So we can put these ones back in our piles. And let's go for another number now. Let's do 505. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to choose 3 of our cards. And then we're going to try and make a number as close to that one as we can. I'm going to close my eyes. 1, 2 and 3. I don't need my other 3 cards. Now we're both going to make a number as close to that one as we can. And then we're going to put them facing everyone so they can see. So let's start with this one first. We've got 526. Now this is 505, so I know that the 1s are only 1 different and the 10s are only 2 different. So that's 21 away. I've got 432, which means I am 73 away. So that time, player 2 won the point. We're playing up to 3, so it's 1-1, which means we only need 3 games maximum now. I'm going to choose another number. Let's go with 480. And just like last time, we're going to choose 3 numbers without looking. Let's go for 1, that one, and this one. And we're going to try and make it as close to that one as we can. After we've done it, we're going to show everyone. Oh, this one's close. For this one, I've got 421, and my opponent has 451, which I don't think we need to work out, because 50 is closer to 80 than 20, which means that player 2 has won that point again. So I need 2 more points, and player 2 needs 1 more point to win. Would you like to choose a number this time? Okay, so the next number we're going to do is 228. So just like the other times, we're going to choose 3 numbers and we're going to try and get as close to that number as we can. I'm going to go for this one, and this one. Let's see. All right, so you have 235, which is only 7 away, and I've got 245, which is 17 away, which means player 2 is on 3 and has won the game. Okay, so all you need to make this game is 2 pieces of paper or card, a pen to write on, and somewhere to write your score. And that's all you need. So you need to try and get as close to this number as possible. If you want, you can make 9 pieces of card, numbered 1 to 9, and then give yourself harder numbers, or you can keep it simple like this. Okay, and that's how you play the game. Okay everyone, I hope that helped you with your place value and your partitioning, and I really hope that you got a chance to play the game that we did today as well. That is it for today, and I hope you will watch my next video.